Howdy folks, I'm Sturdy Shopping Bag, speedily striding from sale to sale.
I'm Amber.
And here are more sales for us to speed between. And folks, today is a live stream. For more information, please see the end of the video. We hope to see you then. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Cutting It Off with Someone Who I Was Seeing Because She Didn't Drink Enough Water? I matched with someone on a dating app and we had been talking for about 3 months. We met out for a couple of drinks at a nice cocktail lounge for our first date. When we ordered the first round, I asked for some waters as well. When I asked for the waters, she said to me, "Oh, I never drink water. I'm the worst at that." I jokingly replied that I would have to send her some reminders to drink water. Overall, I didn't think much of that comment, even though I value health a lot and believe that chronic dehydration is a terrible thing for the overall bodily function. She didn't sip on the water once that night. Fast forward, I asked her to be my +1 for a wedding that I was invited to after 2 months or so of us talking. She agreed, so we went out. The ceremony was early in the afternoon and went late into the evening. I noticed that she had no water for hours and was just sipping on wine throughout that time. This was the first time that I realized that I'm turned off by people when they don't value their physical well-being enough to do something as simple as trying to stay hydrated. I understand that sometimes people get busy and find it difficult to remember to drink water, but this person acknowledged that drinking water is an issue on the first date, but showed no signs of actively wanting to change that. I called her 2 days after the wedding and respectfully told her that I'm no longer interested in pursuing anything with her. In this scenario, what makes me feel like I could have been the jerk is the fact that I didn't tell her why I was cutting things off with her. I just felt like it was such an unusual reason for someone to end things and didn't want her to feel insulted or for me to come off as rude somehow. So I basically just told her that I didn't see anything working between us the way that I thought it would initially. She seemed very confused when I told her that I was cutting her off. All right, folks, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you're the jerk for how you handle it. Like, you can break up with someone for any reason you want, but I think good communication is still important. And I understand not wanting to come across as rude, but it's ruder not to, in my opinion, it's ruder not to give her a reason because it makes her wonder what she did wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest problem I have here. I don't really think that OP's wrong for breaking up with someone over a particular reason or not. As odd of a reason as I do think it is, but that's their prerogative. If they really value this and it's going to bug them about their partner, then I mean, and it's a deal breaker, that's what deal breakers are, right? He didn't try controlling her, he didn't try forcing her to, conform to his standards of beverage consumption or water consumption. But it is a little bit peculiar that OP has this strange expectation that after knowing someone for such a short period of time that they would suddenly miraculously try to change their water drinking habits, especially after not mentioning anything to her.
Right, well, he's like, well, she acknowledged she's bad at it, and it's like, it sounds more like she said it jokingly, like,
Yeah.
there is a big, like, emphasis on drinking water, and not everyone, like, is pounding water all the time,
Yeah.
and that's okay, and it's not necessarily an unhealthy thing. Like, I find it very strange that he was even, like, monitoring her water consumption that heavily.
Yeah.
There's so many different aspects to health, and, like, yeah, it's best to stay hydrated, but if she's not constantly dealing with the effects of dehydration, then, like, it doesn't mean she's unhealthy.
Yeah, I mean, I could understand it a little bit more if she was actually like in medical trouble because of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had been dating for a while and she just kept neglecting her water consumption despite it causing actual medical problems. Then I could see them being like, I'm not interested in this. Like this is such an easily remediable problem and you're refusing to do anything about it. I just don't really like where this future is going for us, right?
Right, but this just seems like such a strange thing. Like, is he also watching what his date eats? Or does eating unhealthy food not count? Is it literally just water?
Yeah.
Does he care if people don't go to the gym? Or again, is it just water? Because water is one very small piece of our overall health.
Yeah.
And so it just seems like a very strange hill to die on.
Well, also, hydration you don't need pure water to be hydrated. And certainly, like, this is something you should talk to your doctor about if you have any questions about how to stay hydrated. But for the most part, as long as you're consuming enough enough liquid to keep you hydrated, that's not a problem, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be water. It could be tea. It can be potentially something like sodas or something like that, right? Now, you do have to worry about like sugars and caffeine and stuff like that, because caffeine especially can be cause you to become dehydrated. But as long as you're making an effort to remain hydrated in some way, you're generally not going to have to worry about being dehydrated. But again, I think that that's like something that if someone's really concerned about their hydration levels, that's something that you should talk to your doctor about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not necessarily make arbitrary judgments on people that you've known for short periods of time.
Right. Well, and every body is different,
Mm-hmm.
and smaller people need less water overall than larger people, just generally to keep their bodies going. Like
Yeah.
there's also a body size component to it.
Well, and
And
activity
I was gonna
too.
say, yeah, exercise levels, like people who are really active need way more water than people who aren't.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different factors that go into it that it's hard to like tell just by looking at someone how much water they need.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. But folks, let's see what the Wheel of Judgment has to say. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment that OP's earned. You're the jerk, and that's an understatement. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the wheel really does not like this person.
I mean, I think we know who's not drinking their water.
The wheel's like, I don't drink any water. I mean, it's a computer, so I mean, if we poured water over it, it would
Would
be
be
a
very
sad,
unhappy.
yeah, it would be a sad
I got
wheel.
my water right here.
And Parsimonous Salad says, no, no jerks here. You can end dating with anyone for any reason. If she was confused about why you were cutting her off, you might have explained yourself, but she might have gotten offended. It's her physical well-being to keep track of after all. So probably best just to say it's you and not her. But I do think like this is a little bit of an odd thing in the respect, and I know I said this before, but he didn't even mention that this was something that bothered him at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, I think there's like a fine line, of course, between like being controlling. You don't want to come across as someone who's controlling,
Mm-hmm.
but also like if she has, I just don't know. I don't know what the right answer here is, other than let's just let people mind their own body.
Right. I mean, I think it would probably be a relief to her more than anything. Like, she'd probably be frustrated, like, really? He's dumping me because I'm not drinking enough water? But at least that wouldn't leave her wondering, like, did I say the wrong thing to his friend at the wedding? Was I not dressed well enough? Like, did his friends think I was weird?
Yeah. And OP replies, they agree completely, 100%. And Super Pookie Power says, your weird water fixation isn't her problem, it's yours. I'm not expecting the dating pool to be too friendly to you, as your controlling behavior is a red flag. I think that she's really dodging a bullet here. You're the jerk. And OP replies, at no point did I ever say that I was looking to be controlling over her by making her drink more water. All I did was observe, and then I walked away. Quite literally, she never even knew that it was a dilemma in my mind. So it's interesting how some people are accusing me of being controlling when I never expressed to her that was what was even an issue. Lol. I mean, I don't think that they were necessarily being controlling, but I do think it is peculiar that they were monitoring the
I mean, it's
consumption.
a sign of potential future controlling behavior if they are, like, because what if they had gotten in a relationship and, like, she'd been drinking enough water, but then, like, her water consumption goes down over time or something? Like, what is he going to do then? Like, is there ever going to be a point where he actually tells his partner that it's important that she drink water? Or is it going to be like, oh, yeah, we're just not working out. I know we're married, but, like, I'm just going to leave.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what OP would do in any of those situations. It's hard to say. And Strapo says, not the jerk. It wasn't really about the water, but that you didn't think that she took enough care of her health. If you said why, she would have gotten very defensive, and it would have ended badly. You haven't been seeing each other for that long, and people break up for all kinds of reasons, so I don't think that it's that big of a deal. Though, on reading the heading, it did make me think that it could have been a Seinfeld episode. And OP replies, this is how I see it as well. People do break up for all kinds of reasons. If someone didn't want to be with another person for whatever reason, then I believe they have every right to walk away. I'm not trying to change anyone either. I would never pressure someone into fitting into my preferences. I'll just simply move on and keep things cordial. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for telling my friend that she can't bring my ex to my wedding? I'm a 28-year-old female and I'm getting married to my fiance, a 30-year-old male, in a few months. We're having a fairly large wedding, around 100 guests, and I've been working hard to keep it simple, but still really special. I've got a pretty tight guest list, and everything was going smoothly until recently when my friend Lily, a 29-year-old female, asked if she could bring my ex, we'll call him Ben, to the wedding. My breakup with Ben was a little over 2 years ago, and it wasn't really a friendly split. We had some pretty bad fights towards the end, and I've done a lot of work to move on since then. I don't talk to Ben anymore, and honestly don't want to see him at my wedding. But Lily, who's been my close friend for years, came to me and said that she was planning to bring him as her plus one. She said that they were still friends, and she didn't think that it should be a big deal considering there will be so many other people there. I was honestly taken aback. I asked her why she wanted to bring him, and she said that since they've stayed on good terms, it would be awkward for her to be the only one not talking to him, especially at such a big event. She kept pushing the idea, saying that it's a big wedding with tons of people, so it's not like he's going to be the center of attention. It seemed really weird. She also said, out of all the people you're inviting, you can't seriously expect me to exclude him. I tried to explain that it's not about the size of the wedding or him being just another guest. I'm simply not comfortable with him being there. I told her that it would be awkward for me because I've moved on, and seeing him at my wedding would bring up old emotions that I don't want to deal with. She got really upset and said that I was being controlling and that I was trying to dictate her friendships. She argued that she was just trying to be fair to everyone, and if I'm not okay with Ben being there, then I'm creating unnecessary drama. Now she's telling some of our mutual friends that I'm being a bridezilla and that I should just get over the past. Some of them agree with her, saying that I'm being dramatic and that there's no reason why Ben can't be invited to a wedding that's so big anyways. I feel like I'm stuck between standing my ground and worrying that I'm making a bigger deal than I should have. So am I jerk for telling my friend that she couldn't bring my ex to my wedding? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. Her reasoning is really weird here, and she's not being honest with you. Like, I'm guessing there's like a 90% chance that she's seeing him on the down low.
Yeah.
If it's not that, then she's the biggest drama llama in the world and just wants to see this wedding explode. But it's not about fairness. Like, you are allowed to, your wedding is supposed to be celebrating you as a couple, like you and your partner. And generally, exes, unless you have kids, are not there. Like, sometimes for the sake of like unity for the kids, people will invite their exes. But you ended on bad terms. You do not have a relationship with this person. Why would he be there to celebrate your marriage?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if OP and him had broken up and it had been on really good terms and they stayed friends and OP wanted him to be there, then I could see that being something that happens, right? Sometimes relationships do end on good terms.
Certainly.
But this isn't what happened, right? And while, it's not like OP is giving ultimatums here, right? It's not like OP is saying, you either be friends with me or him, right? And now if OP were doing that, I could see OP being in the wrong and dictating someone's friendship. But that's not at all what they're doing. They're just saying that I don't want this person at this event.
Right, and the friend is the one who's trying to dictate, like, the whole thing. It seems like she's trying to get him back into the friend group or something, and is trying to use OP's wedding as a starting point because that may even be the biggest hurdle. And then once he's been to the wedding, well, we can just invite him everywhere because, see, OP, you could be civil with him for one day. Yeah, you can be civil with him all the time.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. I really feel like this is just kind of a slippery slope type of thing where she probably is dating him. She wants him to be back introduced into the friends group, and she's going to kind of, push OP out if she has to in order to kind of, reclaim that space and reclaim that friendships. So I think that OP is well within the right to stand their ground and to not allow Ben to go to their wedding.
Right. Well, this isn't kindergarten. Like, you don't have to share with every single person at the table or something like that, She's acting like not inviting him to the wedding is like a big snub. But again, there's no reason for him to be invited to the wedding. It doesn't make her, like, OP's friend less of his friend because she went to one social event without him.
No. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Remote Physical 6980 says, not the jerk. This is your wedding. You're planning on doing this once. And if I may make a suggestion, disinvite Lily. It's not your job to be fair to people, and anybody who uses that kind of language to you, like a bridezilla, before the wedding obviously shouldn't be there. Don't worry about what anyone says. Make it special for yourself and your husband. Anyone who doesn't understand why you wouldn't want your ex there should not be there either. And good lord, the guts on this woman. She doesn't think that it would be a big deal. Well, that's lovely. I'll be sure to file that opinion with the garbage, which is where it belongs. She doesn't care how you feel. She just wants to look fair to someone that you broke up with. Hey, you can't dictate her friends. I get that. But you also don't have to let her bring your ex as a +1 to your wedding. This is some industrial grade BS, and she's trying to spread it around. This way, you can give that seat to someone who actually has your best interest at heart. Sorry, she's trying to pull this. Put her out of your mind and have a lovely wedding anyways. Edit to add, I would guess that she's either banging Ben, or wants to bang Ben, or wants to disrupt your wedding, or all three. In all three cases, it's not worth having her around. Cut her and Ben loose forever. And GreyCat17 says, also, she is 100% banging Ben and wants to use this as an excuse to validate the relationship. Just cut her off. I hate to jump to conclusions like I've already done, but I do feel like this is kind of like, why else would she want him there so badly? All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What kind of vehicle has 4 wheels and flies?
A garbage truck.
Yep.
And I have the special guest tea. More matcha. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Fantastic Friday, folks. I hope your Friday is off to a fantastic start. And folks, we have a live stream coming up in a few. We hope to see you then. And Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please, have it on unreasonable demands.
It's not reasonable to demand that someone invite their ex to their wedding.
Yeah. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.